Hey, welcome to Secrets of Stand-Up Comedy. I'm Richard Francis Williams, and I am sick. I've been in bed all day, and not the good way. I don't even know what that means. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird when you don't feel sick. Like, I don't have a fever, I don't think. No, feels normal. When you don't feel like you're sick, but you're sick, it kind of frightens you. You're like, wait, what's going on here? I'm just really tired. I I don't know. I want to do this video anyways. Maybe I got AIDS again. I didn't know you can get it a third time. Oh well. I wanted to make this video. That's why if you see a notification, this is going up way early, so I can get this done and then go back to sleep. I want to thank Sarah because she reached out and is going to help me with my credit report. That's what she does. It's funny. She's one of the viewers, a comic, and reached out to me. That's what she specializes in, and yeah, it's amazing because that's what I always try to promote here, helping each other out. And while this isn't comedy related, I never ask for or accept help from people. It's something I'm working on, but this is such a different scenario for me, and she's very kind to do this. So I'm going to be sending her my information. So hopefully I'll be back at the mic soon, either with a different vehicle or the repaired vehicle once the part comes in. Here's the topic. I'll get to the point. I'll try not to ramble. Certain opportunities you should avoid. They're not really opportunities. Avoid the toxic mics. It all depends on where you're at. If you're in a small town, you kind of have to take the options that are provided to you. But there's some places where, and you may have run into it, where the open mic is just so negative that it could actually hurt your career more than help. Here's what I mean. I remember in LA, they weren't even mics, they were like book shows, and they were just so bad. Nobody, like, it's demoralizing. If you go in and, all right, Willie, give me 5 more minutes and we'll go back and lay down. If you go in and say you do your killer material, tight 5 of your best stuff, and nobody there laughs because it's all comics, and you could just sense that real off vibe there, don't do it. There were a couple places like that. I'm just like, no thanks. I went up one place, and as soon as I walked in, I'm like, I should walk right back out. But I had committed to doing it, so I did it, and I basically used the time to make fun of it. I made fun of the whole environment and kind of called it out. All right, Willie, we'll play in a minute. He's bringing me toys now. He's been cooped up in the bed all day long, him and Bingo. And 5 more minutes, Willie. So really kind of suss that out for yourself. Hey, what am I actually getting out of this mic? If you have more than one option. Is this helping me, or am I leaving here feeling like I want to quit? Because that happens. Sometimes it's just the other people there or the people running it. I remember, and this might be seen as heresy, but when I was in LA for, I don't know the exact years, but I got there in summer of '99. I'd say for the first maybe 6 years that I was there, I just didn't hang out at the Comedy Store. It was really, from my perspective, there was a stretch of time, and I'm glad to see it restored to its former glory. I may have a skewed view of how it was, but I'm not the only one who just saw it as a real, like, soul-sucking, negative place. I don't know if it was because of the management at the time. I'm not relating this back to Mitzi in any way, shape, or form. She was in her twilight years. But yeah, you just go in there, and it seemed like the victims from that movie Seven were just wandering the halls. It's a very dark environment, emotionally, energy-wise. Your next comic coming to the stage, give it up for Gluttony. Like, I just didn't want to be around that. I already had enough of my own toxic traits of self-destruction with drinking and using substances, and it's just, I don't know. So I knew for my own sanity, I had to not go there. And then it got better, and I used to go and hang out, and it had kind of a revival or a renaissance, and now it's just on top of the world. But I was an improv comic. I used to hang out there all the time because they had the bar separated from the club, and you can go back and forth between the two, the bar, restaurant, and that was more like a Cheers environment. And there'd be little squabbles here and there, but everybody was very friendly. And the Laugh Factory was weird because comics would hang out up top, but maybe I wasn't at the level of success where I was readily welcome there, but it seemed like they would hassle me even when I was doing a show. I wasn't a regular at that club, but I would get booked by Jay Davis for his rock and roll comedy shows. The same thing with the Comedy Store. It's funny, I didn't get past at either of those clubs and didn't pursue it. But I performed like sold out shows there on a showcase with like 10 comics or whatever. So yeah, the Laugh Factory didn't seem like a hangout club. There was an upstairs that you can hang out, but you had to be part of the mix there to do that. Also be careful of the advice you take. Now, obviously, I'm giving you my point of view and perspective, but I remember when I first moved to LA, I wanted to get at the Laugh Factory. I wanted to get in at all the clubs. And I was on the very first season of Blind Date as a contestant, which is funny to me because I didn't know what it was. This comic who was casting it said, yeah, we'll set you up on a date. And I said, okay, I'll do it if I can do stand-up on it. Because I thought this would be a good way. Willie, go lay down. Come on. This will be a good way to show me doing stand-up. And then I leveraged that by contacting the Laugh Factory and said, hey, I'm going to be on this dating show. They're going to show me do stand-up. Can I do it at your club? So I thought I'll work that angle and get in there. And they said, absolutely. But the dates didn't line up properly. So we did the show, we did the taping at Luna Park where I was running a show. And it didn't turn out great, but whatever. I parlayed that into getting a showcase. They had the open mic. I don't know if they still have it, but the open mic, I think on Mondays, where comics would line up outside the club waiting for their number. I would never do that because I had an ego, and I'm like, I'm not going to stand out there. This is just to show that the club is busy and people are driving by and seeing everybody standing out there. I'm not going to participate in that because it's humiliating to me. But I got on the showcase, so I did it, and then after your set, you'd go upstairs and you'd wait in a line to see Jamie Masada, the owner, who's iconic in the comedy industry because he's been the owner of that club from probably since its inception. And there used to be a long-standing joke where his advice would be like, you should wear a leather jacket. You're the leather jacket guy now. And it was always that type of advice, like, wear a hat. You're the hat guy. So I had just gotten the material about my parents dying and everybody dying in my family to work, and I did it during that show. And I come up, and he goes, buddy, 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 buddy. The dead parents, no. I don't know why you do this. I'm doing a bad impression. And he says, it's too dark. It's you. And I'm like, well, it's important to me. I appreciate your advice. And then he said something else. And then he goes, the dead parent stuff, maybe you should do more of it. And I'm like, this is insane. And I didn't realize one of his parents had passed away recently, or recent to that date. And so he may have been, kind of dealing with his own stuff at that time. But he said, you come back, call my people. So I called, and I said, yeah, Jamie, I just did the showcase. Jamie told me to call to come back and be seen again. And they said, all right, let me check the dates here. They must open up a calendar. They said, okay, we have one 6 months from now. And I said, what? And they said, yeah, 6 months from now. And I said, no, thanks. And it was like, you have to realize that I had a big head. And there were certain things that I was willing to do and certain things I was not willing to do. At the time, I thought that, hey, I paid my dues in my hometown, on the road. I'm a professional. I have a real act. Everything's going to happen for me immediately. 6 months is way too long to wait. And for better or for worse, I decided not to do that. And so I never became a regular there. I never showcased again. But I did do sold out shows in that room. So I don't know. I don't have any regrets. I can't go back and change who I was or who I am. Maybe it was a good idea. I mean, I liked that I did it. And I was like, nah, I'll pass on your club because you're going to make me wait. Maybe it was super stupid, but you have to go with your gut. You have to do what you think is right and then live with the consequences and live with the benefits. But if there's a scene in your local area, like where the comics are real bitter, stay away from them. There's an old thought that if you hang out with 5 people, take their salaries and average it out, and you'll be at that average. So, like, you are the company that you keep. Hang out with people that are doing good stuff. Hang out with comics who are writing a lot and performing a lot and are upbeat and optimistic. Sure, you want to hang out with cynics as well. We're all cynical to some degree. We're comics. We're breaking things down and making fun of it. But you have to be careful. You have to protect yourself because it's hard enough as it is. So one last thing that reminds me of that. There was a show. It was kind of a novelty that they were doing this right when I moved to LA. It was in a laundromat, I think on the Sunset Strip or the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And it was on CNN, Headline News. They were talking about it. So you could get some publicity out of doing it, I guess. And somebody's like, you got to do the laundromat show? I'm like, are you fucking out of your mind? And no disrespect to the people running it or who did it. I don't know what it was like. But in my mind, performing in a fucking laundromat while people are doing their laundry, it wasn't like they closed the laundromat part down. You're just standing next to a dryer and someone's looking for change and you hear all that noise and there's a window of people seeing you. It's like, I'm not degrading myself. I'd rather get a soapbox and a megaphone and do it out in front of the Mann's Chinese Theater. At least that has a history of busking. I'm not performing in a dunk tank or in a pit of vipers or any nonsense like that. I'm prepared with thoughts and ideas and jokes, and there's a long, rich history of comedians and what we do, and I'm not, no. So there's certain things that I was just an automatic no on. And I started doing that more when I had more options. Hey, do you want to, God, This is so crazy. I should have said no to this, but I was a little bit attracted to fame. This is already going long. I'm feeling better in doing this. I'm glad I did it. Jay Davis asked me and a few comics to do a daytime house party for Dennis Rodman at the beach. I think it's Newport Beach or something. And you can go back and look it up through Google. He got him shut down a bunch of times. Dennis Rodman did. He got in a bunch of trouble for noise complaints. Noise complaints, and then Willie's barking. Willie, come. So I show up, and it's me and Bobby Lee and Jay. We're the three that agreed to do it. And hold on. Willie, come. You want Chewies? Come get Chewies. Come. Me, Jay Davis, and Bobby Lee. We show up, and there's crazy celebrities there. Like Seal was there. I'm like, what? What is Seal doing at Dennis Rodman's beach house? So Jay tells us we're on the second floor. There's a balcony, like a big one, a party balcony. And there's people below on the beach, in the yard, on the property. And then there's the ocean. And here's the mic. Go up and perform. And I look at Bobby. He's like, I want to go up first. I got to get out of here. I'm like, all right, man. Like, I didn't realize how bad it would be. And I don't think a lot of people have seen Bobby Lee do stand-up because he never released a special. But he is funny. Like, his stand-up back then, he used to go in and just kill. I'm like, great. I have to follow Bobby Lee. And even he wasn't getting any reaction. Because it's all these models and bros and then celebrities on top of it, like this weird ambrosia salad beneath us, and we're just on a porch trying to do our jokes down there. Hey, everybody, how's everybody doing today? And so Bobby eats it, and then I go up and eat it even worse, and I'm getting mad. So I'm like starting to take it out on the audience. It was just horrible, and then I left. But I'm glad I did it. It was funny. Like, everything I do, I get a story out of it. But sometimes you got to say no, because you leave those gigs and you'll be like, I should have stayed in school. I should have become an actuary or something. This is not going to lead to anything positive in my life. Bingo. Stop licking whatever you're licking. It's just chaos here. I have to go. If you want one-on-one personal coaching, and I'll punch up your material, I'll go through it in detail with you, go through your set, I'll write jokes and give them to you and keep it on the down low. Message me, email me. It's richwilliamscomedy@gmail.com. It's $100, and you send me your set, and also send me it in like a Google Doc or a Word doc so I can go through it. And I'm a little backed up on it right now because I've been out of commission. But that's it. I'll see you again tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed this. And if you haven't subscribed already, I know there's a lot of lurkers. Subscribe, get the notifications, leave a comment. The comments I like, the engagement part doesn't matter as much in terms of the algorithm. I'm sitting at a certain number with the number of views each day and all that. I guess it doesn't really matter. I do this for a whole number of reasons, but one of them is I do it for me. It keeps me sane. And so I always enjoy it when I see more people interacting, and I respond to, I think, every comment, unless it's really wacky. All right, bye.